Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a balanced rack, no duplicates. But I'm not seeing a bingo here. And I'm wondering if I can get the K doubled. Not sure I can. That would be either beginning or ending in K. Well, only by burning the S with colas. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play cond for 18. Pretty good. I have lacunas and cannulas. Cond does not take an S, I don't think. But both of my bingos play in row I at the moment. So are there any 8s through the available floaters? Not seeing anything with K or O or N. How about D? No, not seeing anything. Great, my lanes remain available, and I've got another one. Lacunas for 79. I'm just pausing in case I've got a bigger overlap in row I than simply 2 squares. Judd does take an S. 79, how does that compare with row I? About 9 more points. This is quite dangerous, opening row A, putting a vowel next to this triple letter square, but I think the score justifies it. Pretty good. That doesn't look far off a bingo. And I just had a moment's thought about Mariris. I think I'm probably confusing that with something similar. So I'm not seeing a 7. Let me consider the floaters towards the bottom. So I've got the ism and miss prefix and suffix. And the air prefix. Wow, fantastic bingo for opponent. 112 points. Gosh. Okay. What can I do about that? And in the first instance, I'm looking for a bingo. Let me just check Mariris. I'm not confident about it. Nope. And it hasn't come to mind what I'm confusing it with. So how about E and S? Gosh, close to reamise. I would need an I to be an E. Not seeing anything with the S. Okay, so my immediate thought now is to look at this triple word square, and my M can go on that spot. So I can play rim, which sorts out the duplicates. This isn't going to score much, only 27, but quite a decent rack leave. And I'm just pausing in case I'm missing a bingo here. This rack definitely prompted some good bingo-y vibes when I saw it. And I feel Mariris is close to what I was looking for, but that is not good. No, I'm going with this. That looks very good. I have Sierran and its anagram. Snaria, few. Okay, so does either of those play? Well, yes, row I, Sierran. And opponent doesn't block that. Fantastic. Is there a better spot? And what about Snaria? Well, yes, Snaria, row C, because of Ide and Mir. That looks pretty safe, not giving too much away. The X has gone for going underneath this A. I don't have any big overlaps in row I. Nothing to hook JA. No, I am going with this. Pretty good. Doesn't look far off a bingo. I have bird as a component part of a word. I'm not seeing a 7 here. Kite, bird, not good. What about the O? I have bio as a prefix. I have debitor, orbited, but they're not bingos. If I don't have a bingo, I have the B for score, but I haven't given up yet. Interbid, I don't think that's good. Wow, look at this close game, just 8 points between us. It's interbed, that's good. Now, do I have diatribe? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Bang! And, well, this certainly is not a bingo rack, but 4 high-scoring tiles and a couple of vowels. I'll certainly be playing through this. I have Mithy and Timey. Not seen anywhere great for either. Diatribe is nice. It's really not opened up terribly much at all, apart from bingo lanes. Just 30 points for opponent. Now, do I have Rhythmy? I do. I don't think there's enough space for it. Oh, maybe there is. That doesn't look right. I need another H. So, going back to my first thought of Timey and Mithy. Well, yes. How about this? Timey for 52 points, and the play doesn't even get doubled. Wow. Rackley pretty atrocious, but there's a queue to come. Timey for 52. Well, I dodged the queue, but I do get some more scoring tiles and avoid a complete swamping of vowels. Some games you get very few scoring tiles, or it feels that way, but I feel that in this game I've been in receipt of an abundance of them and also been able to get some bingos down. But my lead, just 100 points with opponent on turn and a blank still to come. Remaining tiles, pretty bingo-y, and quite a few bingo lanes on this board. Nye takes E and S, there's CUV as floaters, Jag takes G and S, and there's also the R and I of diatribe, so I'm not going to be shutting this board down anytime soon. But what I am looking to do is to keep powering forwards with the score. 20, preferably 30 points a turn. That really puts the pressure on opponent and gives me a chance of winning, even if opponent bingos. Great, Z goes and only 30 points. Eta takes a T and an S. And look at that, still 5 tiles which can go in that spot. And I can't block it. Nothing great I can do with the Z, although I'm vowel heavy. I'm looking to play off my scoring tiles in order to keep the score going. I could play weed. Keeping U and N together softens the danger of the U. It's a priority to split up F and W. So I have that for 24. Feels pretty lackluster, although the rack leave isn't terrible. I'm giving nothing away. Can I do any better? I don't have anything great underneath Xyla. I have EF, but I don't want to keep W and U. I could play Waif, 18 points. Well, the F is actually quite useful as a scoring tile. I've got EW, but that doesn't score very much. I could play Neff, 25 points. Still a ton of E's to come, so it's not terrible getting rid of all of mine. I'm going with this. Well, I'm glad I've got the F. I should be able to score something with it and sort out the rest of the rack. A play of AUF would leave ante, which is quite good. And look at this, I have a T for a tat, so I could play Chufa. It does set up scoring spots for opponent, but it takes out this double danger, which at the moment is a 100-point threat. And that would bring my opponent right back into the game. I have Fauna on my rack with ET. Fawnee also good. Quite useful if I could turn over tiles, given there's still a blank to come. This rack looks like it may go quite well with the R, but I'm not seeing a bingo. I have Zanti, 28 points, but still an S and a blank to come, so I'd be reluctant to play that. Now I have Fate, which would stop opponents scoring with the Z. And be better than Chufa in terms of access to column 8. No U's to come, so hanging on to the U, not terrible, especially with a Q to come, but I'm not going to go out of my way to hang on to it. Okay, well, opponent goes in that spot, only scores 20 points, which is good. ATAT only takes an S, so opponent has only created this left-hand spot for me. And I'm not seeing anything great there. So how can I turn over tiles? Well, I could play Furain, taking out a bingo lane, turning over 5 tiles, 18 points. Just about acceptable. Just having a look at Fawny, it doesn't reach the double word square, so isn't going to score enough. Still 2 G's to come for putting on the end of Jag. Furain doesn't give anything away. All the Y's have gone for NY plays. I'm going with this. Not great, just the one vowel. And, well, not close to a bingo. And I've missed the blank, but I have drawn the S, which is the final S, so I'm glad to see that on my rack and not my opponent's. And that means I have an S for going on the end of a tat, and the only other tile which can go there is the blank. I do lead by about 100, so I'm still minded to turn over tiles, both to get the blank and to expedite the end of the game. Now, do I have a play in row L? Lip and lid are both good, so I could play Alap. 27 points, that's quite nice. Turning over 4 tiles, also nice. And I'm not setting up anything massive because one of my tiles covers this double letter square, and triple word squares are most high scoring when opponent can, or when either of you can put a high scoring tile on the double letter square. Now I feel like my opponent is on the brink of bingoing, but the remaining tiles looking less bingo-y, and I'm just noticing the Q, V and W. Only 24 for opponent, and opponent turns over tiles, which is good. Let's keep this momentum going. 13 tiles left. Jaggy is good, all the Y's have gone. So, I was thinking of Alap. What about elapse, which takes out row M as a bingo lane. Lip takes a number of hooks. I'm turning over one more tile. I'm scoring 7 more points. Is this best? And what about plats instead? So this is 34. That's 34. Let me check the remaining vowels. 11 out of 20, so it's vowel heavy. Interesting. Quite tempting to keep AD on the grounds that if I draw the Q, then with an I might have caddy. Let me think about this. So what about just plats 27? I think I am going to play this. Ita only takes an S. I don't think the S scored enough on the end of a tat, and it is useful for going on the end of gonef or on the end of jag. So I think the S is better off on my rack. I'm going with this. Wow, I have whack in row J. Gosh, will that remain available? If opponent bingos in columns 12 or 14, the spot goes. But fantastic. I was just going to say maybe he'll be tempted by the P down here. So I have whack. I'm still leaving tiles in the bag. The remaining tile pool is super bingo-y, except there are a lot of duplicates. Very difficult to infer anything from opponent's play. But look at this, whack for 27. Do I stick an S on the end? Do I need to? I'm 70 points in front. This will put me 100 points in front. Opponent could have a bingo down here, putting an S on the end of whack, which would be a big addition to his score, but I think that's unlikely. Yeah, I think that's unlikely, and any column 14 bingo is going to create opportunities in column 15. And look at this, opponent's got to use his blank there, or next turn I could stick my S there. And if I draw an E, I could have shade. I'm going with this. Well, I don't draw an E. That's quite a nice pickup. It doesn't look great for opponent in terms of the remaining tile pool. I have a 100-point lead. Do I have a bingo? I don't look far off. Wow, look at this bingo lane in row L. That's really nice, 7-letter lane. Only 3 tiles left. So I may not get to see any other bingo racks. And it's not looking good. A bingo has not come to mind. Through a C, I would have Dorlax. So, what about an E? Does that assist? Bag is now empty. I can see what opponent's got. Does he have a bingo? And I lead by 80 points, so I think I can outrun opponent. Because I can play... I'm thinking about playing Shrod, and I'm wondering if it has a C. I have plenty of options in this spot. I just wanted to play the D and the H. Shard. Shard takes a Y and an S. Opponent does not have a bingo. This is 44 points. This seals the deal. I now lead by 120. Opponent can do his worst, and it's not going to be enough. And I have LO, which, although I haven't checked, I'm sure I can play in more than one place. I have L and low with the E of Furain. And I have law or lod down the bottom, so plenty of opportunities. I have vol in row N. I may not get to play at all. Opponent could have a bingo. I haven't particularly looked for him, and it may be that I've created a bingo opportunity with the floaters from Shard. But the reason for playing that was that it absolutely guaranteed the win, which is your number one priority. It's awful when you think opponent can't bingo and they can catch you, and you look back and you realise you could have guaranteed the win by outrunning your opponent, and that sort of memory sticks in your mind. So quite often you see good players or top players sacrificing points when you analyse their games because they are guaranteeing the win. Of course, the very top players do properly analyse the end game and are less likely to be caught out by opponent bingoing. Now, if opponent doesn't bingo, what's the best I can do with LO? So I've got vol for 12. That's in my back pocket. I'll only mention plays which outscore that. Well, opponent goes there and he doesn't bingo, just 24 points. So Merle and low, that's 9. Can I do better than that? Not seen anything so far. 7 down here. Loom. Nothing around Shard, which scores more. I am going with Merle, which isn't good. Okay. So, well, this game is won, so I think I'll just play this for 6, unless there's anything I can see which is clearly better. Well, not straight away. And the final score, 367 to my opponent, 477 to me, a winning margin of 110 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Big score. Now, it was me to go first. No bingo here, and the 5-letter plays burn the S, so I'm happy with conned. Opponent plays Judd, and that's great because I have cannulas and lacunas. But look at this, fantastic comeback by opponent with dioxanes, great spot, and opponent moves into the lead. Now, no missed bingo here, and I can't see anything from this list which indicates what I may have been thinking of. But I play Rim for 27, but C9. Micah's, yeah, that's quite a big score difference. But of course Rim takes out a super hot spot, so... And it leaves a decent rack leave. AIRS. So, although these moves are about more than score and rack leave, I think these moves are quite close. Opponent's rack. No bingo here, plays Bop, which is fantastic because I have Snaria. Thought about Sierran, did not see D7, Snarkia, but Snaria looks best. And I now lead by 30, which isn't very much. Opponent plays a Tug. And this was fantastic. I wasn't optimistic that there would be a bingo here, and I was on the brink of looking for spots to play buy or bid. And then I considered the A and saw Diatribe, so delighted to get that down. And that put a little bit of breathing space between myself and opponent, who plays Cuvée. And now I have Timey for 52, which scored well and really sorted the rack out. Opponent's rack plays Xyla, and I lead by 70, 30 tiles in the bag. And I play Weed for 24, and look at this, nothing much better on offer. F13. Ah, Jagger, I overlooked that hook during game time. Well, I don't prefer a wee, but I would have preferred it if I'd spotted that additional hook. Opponent's rack. Wow, that looks close to a bingo, but he doesn't have one. Befana, very nice. A13. Wow, look at that, coming down from BE. That would have been a terrific spot. Instead, I play Furane for 18. Opponent's rack, struggling a bit with F double G, plays Gone F. J14, Adapt. Well, I'm not a fan of that volatile play, setting up bingo lanes. However, it may simulate quite well because it retains the S, which goes in both spots that Adapt creates. So I play Plat for 27, which is the same score as Adapt. Yeah, I do prefer my play. I don't need that volatility at all. Opponent again close to a bingo, but there is none. Plays Pave. And this is terrific. I absolutely love this word whack. Getting rid of the F, Q, and W. I accept that the F is on the board, but it's a lovely word because it gives you the potential to get rid of 3 absolutely horrible tiles in one fell swoop. And that really worked nicely for me. I didn't feel safe given that there was a blank out there and opponent was a bingo away, but whack definitely added some comfort. Opponent slightly vowel heavy, plays Oni. Oh wow, blotting my copybook at the end there. Holards L6. Yep. Okay, well done if you spotted that. I missed it. Nice bingo, fairly high probability. So I play Shard for 44, which is the highest non-bingo. And opponent has a bingo. Wow. M8 through the R of Shard. Grimoire. Wow. So 68 would have taken him to 411. So he wouldn't have won, but definitely would have reduced the losing margin. So opponent plays Vogia and L13. Lola and Or for 10, so I dropped 4 points at the end. So, what a game. Absolutely great fun. And it was nice not only to win, obviously, but also to get bingos down and also to get a couple of funky words down in Timey and Whack, for getting rid of a whole bunch of junky, high-scoring tiles in one go, cleaning up your rack and moving on. So nice to have spotted those and to have gotten them down. Many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.